and the global financial crisis may well be easing. The market may well be challenging. These things do go in cycles.
This one I go and ask you questions soon, so what do you think about it?
I know you've got plans. I'm from West Point, I live down in Normal Avenue. Have you looked at the cost of extending the Normal Avenue, because it's not going to take a 5-minute job, but the bank is pretty high, there's lots of trees and whatever there. So that's going to take more than $1.2 million to do that.
Just start from the comment.
That's part of stage 2, so the 1.2 million is not included in that. There's some preliminary estimates. I can't recall that component of it, but stage 2, I think is in the order of $2 million to complete stage 2. But the design hasn't been completed yet. I recognise the level change that you're referring to.
Saturday, September the 8th. Saturday, September the 8th. There's a question over here, what happens if the land isn't sold when it remains as it is, subdivided but not built upon? Yes, and then usually.
Penny Rose, my name. Could you tell us your plans for Hatfield Road? Do you plan to pave it, curb and gutter, trucks going up and down, it's so loud. And we're just wondering if all this is going to be happening, is there going to be any plan for Hatfield Road?
No curb guttering plans to have no way, but it is on a resealing program for the next couple of years. It's based on condition assessments across the city, and there's a priority of about 650 kilometres of civil road across the city. All gets an allocation of around about the 1.7 million reseal budget we have per year.
Is that the road to recovery, those signs and stuff like that?
Partial roads to recovery contributes to that.
It should be based on road noise suppression to approve this subsidy.
Blue Mountain seems to have a mix of larger suburbs and smaller villages, and I think a lot of us probably moved to Blackheath because
exactly. That's the point. This goes into south-western Sydney.
I was just wondering if the council had a long-term plan to keep some of these smaller villages as smaller villages, or if eventually everything will become large suburbs with the Blue Mountains.
I think if we wish to develop the Blue Mountains as a large suburb, the land zoning plan in 2005, which was adopted, would not have been as brilliant a document as it is. And the gentleman over there said, what about McMansions, what about these sort of things? We have ruled them out. Houses have to have eaves. Houses cannot be more than 33% of a lot. Houses can be 2-storey, but they cannot spread out over the entire lot. We do not want those dog boxes that you see in Bloomore Park. And you will not get that. Don't applaud me, please. Excuse me. We specifically rule out that style of development. Whether people want it here or not, we say no. And we're progressively upgrading and lobbying other levels of government to make sure that never happens. So.
Yeah, on the original thing you said there, I was only 600 square metres.
630.
But those boxes, it's the same thing. They're always quarter-acre boxes. I don't know where you got the 630 square metres. But just another question. Now, in the development,
663. The size of the existing lots is 660 square metres.
When you're actually doing the road, are you going to curb and gutter and drain the section in front of the new proposed development?
I think so. No.
Well, hang on, that's a contradiction. Like everyone else subdivides a block of land over here. Some people, they've got to put curb and gutter and drainage. And you know that.
I make the point before that if that's what you believe your area needs, then you should be lobbying us.
No, hang on. If anyone subdivides a block of land up here, I'm in the game, I know. You make curb and gutter and do the drainage. Whether
Sir, this land is already subdivided.
Doesn't make any difference.
No, I'm sorry, it does. You're saying if you're subdividing land, you have to provide services, and I agree, this land is already subdivided, and has been so for so many years.
Every developer up. So basically, you're going to shortcut everything and just for your own gain, sort of place.
So it's an existing subdivision, and those services don't have to be provided on the existing subdivision. A new one, they certainly do. Can I go
Do you
on?
think it's reasonable to curb gutter, whether it's sounds reasonable to me, to develop one that has curb gutter. Well, it should have curb gutter. Do you think it's reasonable to curb gutter?
Well, there's many areas of Blue Mountains that don't have curb and gutter. So, can I move on to the next question?
Hi, I'm Nigel Holland. I'm in Godson Avenue, so I'm backing on, so my privacy is going to be sort of pretty spoiled. But I've just put a development in for a shed and for a house. The development for the shed, the plan took 5 months to approve. The house took another 4 months. This only took about a week, I think, to get through. Is that right?
About 3.
So it took about a week. But one of the main things was that I was made to comply with the 2005 LEP, and I was supposed to blend in with the surrounding bushland. There was a really heavy thing, and that was what a lot of the toing and froing was. Down to the colour of the house, I had a bushland, light bushland green, and it wasn't dark enough because it didn't blend in with the bushland behind the house, which is going to be pushed down. It's going to be gone, and I was also made to comply with fire regulations, which won't be relevant in 3 years' time when there's houses built there, which is added extra cost of my development. So how come I bet, and this is the same time, this is exactly the same time that you guys are planning this development up behind my house. So it's added several $1,000s to the cost of my building. You guys knew that this was going ahead, yet I still had to comply and blend in with all the bushland that's not going to be there later.
And with every one of these blocks, because your council has not sold this land off. We're not selling it off to a developer. Here you go, you have this land for a sum of money, and now you can go ahead, maybe use a private certifier. And yes, there are, unfortunately, the state government some time ago brought in private certifiers, so while our council will specify those colours, I know exactly what you're talking about. I have personal knowledge of what you're talking about in terms of specifying the colours. Private certifiers are a law unto themselves. They're paid by the applicant. So we have kept this land in our custody. And when it's sold off, we will not have private certifiers. We will be specifying the style of development, and it will be in keeping with your area. I am sorry that your development application took so long. It's not uncommon. Unfortunately, if there's a back and forth between council staff and applicant, yes, it can take a period of time.
I don't mind that. I don't mind paying the money either. But when I'm meant to blend in with something that's not going to be there, which is why I moved there.
Yeah, but you can be absolutely certain that every one of those blocks will have to follow the same rigorous standards that you have. Can I just make another point as well? You mentioned your amenity. When my family moved into Springwood in the late 70s, we were the only house on our side of the street, bushland all around. And people bought those lots one by one and built houses, and we lost our bushland views. Existing subdivision, just like this. So I understand that people don't want their amenity to change. But this is an appropriate thing for this council to do. It is not the city of Springwood or the city of Blackheath. Land belongs to the people of the entire city. And where we have problems, and we certainly do in Springwood, where we have a civic centre that's 50 years old and a library that's 40 years old, it is appropriate for this council to take steps to upgrade those facilities. As we have done, as I said before, where we took steps to upgrade Blackheath.